The numbers moved fast. By sunrise, the charts had flipped, and by mid-morning, the industry was watching one name dominate every major digital platform in America. Bruno Mars had the #1 song on US Spotify, Apple Music, and iTunes, a rare trifecta that instantly reshaped the 2026 pop conversation. The track, I Just Might, surged to the top across streaming and download services within hours of release, confirming what many insiders had quietly predicted. Bruno Mars was not returning to the spotlight, he was reclaiming it. The single's explosive debut coincided with the launch of his new album, The Romantic, marking his first major solo era in years. For fans, it felt overdue. For the industry, it felt inevitable. I Just Might quickly climbed to #1 on US Spotify, dominated Apple Music, and topped digital sales on iTunes. Within days, it also made a powerful impact on the Billboard Hot 100, reinforcing Mars' continued commercial strength in an era increasingly defined by viral moments and short attention spans. This was not a fleeting spike, it was a statement. To understand why this moment resonates so strongly, it helps to revisit where it all began. Born Peter Gene Hernandez in Honolulu, Mars grew up immersed in performance. From Elvis impersonations as a child to songwriting sessions in Los Angeles as a struggling young artist, his career was built on discipline as much as charisma. Before the fame, he was crafting hooks behind the scenes, co-writing hits for other artists and sharpening a style rooted in funk, soul, R&B, and classic pop showmanship. When he broke through with Just the Way You Are in 2010, few predicted the scale of longevity he would achieve. Over the next decade, Mars became synonymous with precision pop, albums packed with hits, Super Bowl performances that redefined halftime standards, and Grammy wins that cemented his reputation as one of the most complete entertainers of his generation. Yet after the success of 24K Magic and later collaborations, including Die With a Smile with Lady Gaga, some wondered when, or if, he would return to a fully realized solo chapter. That chapter is now here. The Romantic is not simply an album release, it is a recalibration. Sonically, it leans into lush live instrumentation, layered harmonies, and danceable grooves reminiscent of late 70s disco and early 90s R&B, but lyrically it feels more reflective. The confidence is intact. The bravado remains, yet there is also vulnerability, themes of commitment, doubt, longing, and emotional maturity that signal artistic growth. Industry producer and longtime collaborator Philip Lawrence described the process in a recent interview as the most meticulous we've ever been. He noted that sessions often stretched into early mornings, with Mars obsessing over drum textures and vocal phrasing. He doesn't release music casually, Lawrence said. If it comes out, it's because he believes it will last. Music critic Allison Stewart of The Washington Post recently wrote that Mars understands spectacle better than almost anyone in pop, but what makes him durable is restraint. That restraint is evident in I Just Might. The production is polished but not overproduced. The hook is immediate but not disposable. It feels designed for repeat listening, and that strategy appears to be working. Beyond numbers, the cultural ripple effect is significant. In an American pop landscape increasingly shaped by TikTok virality and algorithm-driven discovery, Bruno Mars operates differently. He builds eras. He curates aesthetics. He invests in live musicianship at a time when many rely heavily on digital shortcuts. Younger artists cite him as proof that traditional showmanship can coexist with streaming dominance. The single's ascent also underscores a broader truth. Star power still matters. While new acts break daily on social platforms, few can mobilize a cross-generational audience the way Mars can. His fan base spans millennials who grew up with his early hits and Gen Z listeners discovering him through collaborations and viral dance challenges. That bridge between eras is rare. Behind the scenes, sources close to the project say Mars took an unusually hands-on role in every stage of production, from visual direction to vinyl mastering. The album artwork, described by insiders as romantic but modern, reportedly went through multiple revisions. He was involved in wardrobe styling for promotional shoots and carefully selected live band arrangements for upcoming performances. Nothing was rushed. There's also the business dimension. Analysts point out that dominating Spotify, Apple Music, and iTunes simultaneously is increasingly difficult in a fragmented market. Streaming consumption patterns differ from download audiences, and chart momentum often requires coordinated fan engagement. Achieving #1 across all three platforms suggests both broad appeal and strategic rollout. Yet for all the data points, the emotional core remains central. In recent years, Mars has spoken sparingly about the pressures of fame. Those who have worked with him describe a performer deeply aware of expectations, both his own and the public's. One anonymous studio engineer shared that Mars often re-records vocals dozens of times, searching for what he calls the feeling. He'll say, "It's not honest yet," the engineer explained. He doesn't stop until it is. That pursuit of honesty may explain why this new era feels different. There is polish, yes, but there is also urgency. I Just Might is framed as a love song, yet underneath it lies a subtle tension, the risk of vulnerability, the gamble of emotional exposure. It mirrors, perhaps unintentionally, the broader arc of his career, stepping away at peak fame, returning on his own timeline, betting that quality still cuts through noise. Culturally, Bruno Mars continues to shape how American pop understands nostalgia. Rather than replicate past eras, he reinterprets them. His use of live horns, analog synths, and choreographed stage movement channels older traditions while presenting them through contemporary production. That blend resonates in a country where musical tastes are increasingly eclectic. The industry is taking note. Radio programmers report strong early rotation. Streaming curators have placed the track prominently on flagship playlists. Social media engagement is climbing steadily, driven less by controversy and more by replay value. In an attention economy fueled by shock, Mars is succeeding through craftsmanship. As awards season looms later this year, speculation is already mounting about nominations, but those conversations feel secondary. The larger story is sustainability. In a business notorious for rapid turnover, Bruno Mars has extended his relevance well beyond a typical pop cycle. Each return feels like an event, and events still matter. Looking ahead, insiders hint at a potential tour announcement. If confirmed, it would likely feature the elaborate staging and tight choreography that have become his signature. Given current demand, ticket sales would almost certainly reflect the same dominance seen on streaming charts. What remains most compelling, however, is the human dimension. At 40, Mars occupies a different space than he did at 25. He is not chasing validation, he is curating legacy. His recent success suggests that patience, rare in modern pop, can pay off. The charts will shift again, another viral hit will emerge, but this moment belongs to him. By landing the #1 song across America's biggest digital platforms, Bruno Mars has reminded the industry of something fundamental. True pop longevity is built on precision, passion, and timing. As the romantic continues its rollout, the question is no longer whether he can still compete. It is how far this chapter will extend. If early indicators hold, the impact could define the sound of American pop in 2026 and beyond. For now, the numbers speak clearly, the audience is listening, and Bruno Mars once again is setting the tempo for everyone else. Bruno Mars is back at the center of the American music conversation, and this time the numbers tell the story. With his latest single soaring to #1 across major US streaming and digital platforms, Bruno Mars has once again proven that longevity and star power still matter in today's fast-moving industry. The achievement marks a significant milestone in his career and signals the beginning of a powerful new era. For more than a decade, Bruno Mars has been one of pop's most consistent hitmakers, blending funk, R&B, soul, and arena-ready showmanship into a signature sound that resonates across generations. From Grammy-winning albums to record-breaking live performances, his influence on American pop culture is undeniable. Now, with renewed creative momentum and a carefully crafted rollout, Bruno Mars is demonstrating that artistry and strategy can still dominate the charts in the streaming age. Why does this moment matter? Because in an era defined by viral trends and short attention spans, sustained excellence is rare. This comeback isn't just about a song climbing the charts, it's about legacy, reinvention, and cultural impact. Watch the full report for an in-depth look at the rise, the strategy, and what this milestone means for Bruno Mars and the future of American pop music.